for another Scraplift Crafternoon. This week we are scrap lifting Briana over at My Life in Paper. I will have her link in the description below my video. This is the layout that we're lifting. It is a very colorful and multi-layered matting behind photos. She has 2 photos and a journaling spot and a title. So come back in a few and see what I do with this one. So you know me, I like to go rogue, and I have chosen to do some mixed media for my background on this layout. I have chosen a 12 by 12 stencil, some texture paste from Vicky Boutin, and a piece of white cardstock. Now I'm going to use 2 colors because it matches the Cocoa Vanilla No Limits collection that I'm going to use to tell today's story. Today's story features 2 photos from a day trip that my husband and I took early this summer. He had just returned home from deployment and he wanted to take me to the Star Trek original set. The Star Trek original series TV set in Ticonderoga, New York. It was just a couple of hours from where we were stationed at the time, and he had gone with a friend in the fall, but he wanted to take me, and he purchased a bigger tour ticket than we had before. We had a professional photographer follow us around and take pictures, and as he told us the stories behind some of the things that you find and see on the Star Trek series set, he took lots of pictures. Anyway, this set of photos is us doing the Vulcan handhold. Now that my texture paste is fully dry, I'm going to do a little bit of ink smooshing. I take a piece of packaging and I put 2 colors of my sprays. I had a little bit of trouble with this Heidi Swap spray. It's kind of dried out on the bottom. That's good because it actually rolls off my table during this video and none of it spilled, which is awesome because that would have been quite a mess to clean up. So anyway, I just add 2 colors, a little bit of water, and I'm going to go around the edges of my background. So I'm kind of trying to mimic one of the piece of pattern papers in the Cocoa Vanilla No Limits collection. It has a brick background and then it has some lovely watercolor ink around the border, and I'm just kind of mimicking that a little bit. And this was quite fun to do because the colors match my stencil butter perfectly. It matched my photos. It matches the collection perfectly. It was quite accidental, so I was really thrilled with the way this came out. So I decided I needed a little bit more of the gray shimmers spray on my edging once it started drying, and so I'm just going to add a little bit more of the gray color to get more of the effect that I want. Really love how this turned out. I almost didn't want to put photos on it because it just turned out so pretty in the end. I'm also going to add some white dilutions splatters on this here in a minute. You should see that come up in just a second. Sorry about my little furry visitor in this section of the video. He would not leave me alone. I actually had to stop recording for a couple of hours so he would go take a nap and not be in my way. He wanted to watch me make splatters. I think I even got some of the ink on his booty. Now I'm going to bring together all of the little bits and pieces that I have chosen to put on this layout. But first I'm going to go ahead and distress my photos and the mats behind them. Now I'm using some scraps to mat my photos. One of them I had used for another layout. That particular piece of pattern paper has stars on the other side, and I had fussy cut a whole bunch of stars out of it, and I saved this piece of pattern paper because it was big enough that I thought I could go ahead and use it to mat a 3x4 photo. I do have a little bit of trouble because of the cutout section as I'm playing with it, and I had to switch from my liquid glue to my ATG gun so that it would stop moving as I distressed. I really like how quickly and easily this layout came together once my mixed media background was dry. I had pulled the things that I thought I would use from the No Limits collection off camera and set them aside, and kind of had an idea of where I was going with the layering. I pulled the 6x8 paper pad from this collection. I love having the matching 6x8 paper pads from my collections because it allows me to use some of the patterns to mat my photos, and that way I don't have to cut into a 12x12 sheet of pattern paper to mat photos. I know I have a huge stash and I should be using as much of it as possible, but really sometimes when a collection is just as gorgeous as this one, I really want to stretch it as far as I can, and having that 6x8 paper pad allows me to do so. So you're going to notice that I am not layering quite the same as Briana did in the original layout. Her second layering behind her photo is longer than mine is. I chose to cut mine down because I'm going to use a piece of that striped paper to mat my journaling, which I have already printed on white cardstock off camera. And I'm doing that to draw your eye kind of across the page a little bit. I also do not put a third piece of pattern paper behind my photos in the layering. I decided once that striped was on there that it had enough color, and then if I added any more that it would be distracting. So here's where I began pulling things from the chipboard sticker pack. I thought that I might use the word epic on this layout. In the end, I decided to play around with the little banner and that little, what is it, a badge, and make that kind of a small title. I ended up putting a couple of word phrases from a Simple Stories wedding line that I had on my desktop from a previous layout to cover up some of the words on the badge, so that my title just says Out of This World Adventure and then has 2 small phrases. I really had fun scrap lifting Briana's layout today, and I really hope that you will check out the collaborative playlist below my video to see what the other members of our YouTube hop do with this layout. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you liked this video, please click the thumbs up, and if you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe. Thank you, and have a great afternoon. Bye.